We're good? Yep. Awesome. Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Strongfit podcast. I think today we're going to be kind of a slosh posh of the world and ranting of what's happening in the world today. We're going to be ranting about what's happening in the world.
It's not a rant. It's a prediction.
A statement.
Exactly. It's where are we going with this and what are we going to do about it?
Yep.
For us, at least, for Strongfit.
Yep.
So we are moving Strongfit into what is called multi-networks, which is a place where we can stay in a closed circuit, in a way.
Okay.
So we're having the Strongfit community there, Julian's Corner, which we just created. We have the Strongfit mentoring program in there. We have the one-on-one mentoring with you, one-on-one mentoring with me, one-on-one mentoring with the two of us.
Yeah.
We call the coaches course. We have, through that, we can put the modules that we want to produce and give to people. So it's its own universe, basically. That's why we call it the Strongfit universe. So why did we move there? First of all, we needed a place that is where, instead of having to do email, WhatsApp, Messenger with people and stuff like that, which you can just put it in one place.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, which is a bit easier, I have to say. I like that when I communicate with people, I can just feed them videos or articles directly and everything. For me, from a mentoring perspective, it works really, really well. I'm really excited about it. But there was a deeper reason as to why we did this. And for me, the main thing was to get the fuck off social media, and especially Facebook and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And not relying on YouTube, not relying on Facebook and all that to me, is what we should focus on right now. So for now, we're on Mighty Networks, but we are building a website so that within 1 year or two, we're going to be completely off the grid to build our own stuff. So we'll be on YouTube and Instagram to tell people to come in whatever platform we're on. But the point is that we have our own platform because censorship is coming. Okay. It is there.
I like it, yeah. Right. I agree.
So, where do we start?
And these aren't conspiracy theories, or are they conspiracy theories?
No.
They're full-blown facts.
Right. So, okay, you want a fact? Do you know that we have an episode of the Strongfit podcast that was shadow banned?
I do, only because you sent me the...
Right. So, go look for Strongfit episode 84 on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you will not find it. You have to go in our video list to find it. It's the episode we did about Epstein.
Right.
Right. In it, there was no conspiracy theory of any kind. All I said was stuff that Eric Weinstein said on his podcast.
Yeah.
Was it Brett? One of the two brothers, the bigger one.
I don't remember.
I never remember which one it is. But the one that has, not the Dark Horse podcast, the other one, right? All the stuff that he said, those are things I just read in the press.
Yeah.
I didn't go into I didn't even say he got killed.
Right.
I said the cause of death.
So there was no actual political view. There was no misrepresentation of anything. It was basically just stating what you've read. Yeah.
Just facts. I paid really attention to stay within the fact. For example, like he had a hedge fund that never traded $1.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
Right.
He was given a $70 million penthouse in Manhattan. Given, not loan, given by the billionaire and everything. Those are all facts that is on the documentary. All that stuff have been said.
Right.
I say it, I get shadow banned.
Yeah.
Just because it says Epstein on the title.
Did you get like a message from YouTube saying you've been...
So it's one of our guys. It's one of a guy on YouTube that said, hey, the episode is shadow banned.
That's crazy.
Right. So it's shadow banned, so I don't even know who to talk to. You can't talk to a human being at YouTube anyway.
Right.
And they're going to say, well, we don't see anything. But that's the thing. That's my point, is we don't see anything. I can't find it. It's shadow banned.
Anywhere, yeah. So
there's nothing you can do about that. It's the algorithm, whatever, because it's the name alone. So that means that we're being put down like lower and lower through the algorithm because of the stock, because I talk about anxiety, stuff like that. We got demonetized. You know that my podcast, the episode 69 that I say about my own stuff, got demonetized.
Why?
Because I talked about suicide, anxiety, and stuff like that.
So as soon as you say the word, the algorithm just puts it into...
I guess.
But that's crazy.
But no.
Against community guidelines.
No. On the Strongfit podcast, it does. But I can find podcasts talking about way more than that, but they're way bigger.
Okay.
Right. Or they belong to CBS or shit like that. So I was reading an article about from Matt Taibbi. Matt Taibbi is one of the best journalists out there. He's freelance. He worked for Rolling Stones for the longest time, but he wrote books about the financial crash, stuff like that. And he has his own thing, which I recommend to go onto, and then so I subscribed because you have to give money to the right people.
Yeah.
And he sends you article all the time. And in one of them, he was explaining what is happening with YouTube Live right now. So, have you seen that video of that police officer whose head got stuck in the door when they rush the Washington, and the guys keep banging, trying to open the door with his head stuck in it?
No, I don't think I spent enough time.
Oh my God. So there was an image of that where the protesters are trying to bash through, and then there's a door, and the police officer, his head gets stuck
and they
in
just
the door,
smash his head
and they
in.
just keep smashing.
Jesus.
Oh yeah. Right. That was a freelance journalist who filmed that and put it on the live video. Right now, that video would be shut off.
Right.
So it seems YouTube Live has a rule that apparently that you cannot film someone carrying a gun.
Okay.
Or transporting a gun or talking about they're just having a gun. Which, by the way, is complete bullshit because police officers carry guns.
Yeah.
Right. But the key is CBS and all those people and all the MSNBC and all the major chains do film that on their YouTube Live constantly.
Right.
But independent journalists, freelancers cannot. So, and I'm not kidding, like normally no one can. But in the real world, CBS and all the guys do it all the time. Freelancers get shut off. So there's a guy who brought that video, right?
Yeah.
He goes, a few days later, they say, well, there's going to be another violent manifestation. He goes there, turns out there's almost nobody. It was a pro-gun rally, right? And all the guys there are like, we're not Trump, we're not Trumpist, we are against Trump, and we are certainly against what happened in the Capitol. We want none of that, and he talks about gun. Halfway through the video, he gets shut off.
The YouTube Live.
Yep, gets shut off.
Crazy.
Because talking about guns.
So the algorithm just went, pop, you're out.
Or someone shut them off.
Right.
But you've heard that on CBS many times. CBS was there filming it, and they went through.
Yeah.
But they shut down the freelance journalist. So that means that YouTube now is just another channel.
Yeah.
For CBS, for people with the biggest money, they have a direct line to YouTube. If you're so there's a hierarchy now. So the lower you are, the more you're fucked.
Right.
That's what this works. So if you have so that guy was big enough on a YouTube Live that he made a fuss about it, and then they reinstalled him. But the other guys that are lower than him say like, we're not even trying, because otherwise they're going to shut us off completely. They'll just turn off your channel, and that's their only way of income.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy.
Okay, this is happening everywhere now. Like, guys, we need like.
Well, I was having that conversation with Bill when I was in New Jersey, and we were just talking about everything is just about clickbait and fear, right? So just instilling fear in people nonstop. But and something that you mentioned the other day, which you'll probably get into, it's like the way that you instill fear is not by giving people the truth; it's by giving people 5 truths. Right.
So that's what I saw that's what I realized the other day, like looking at how people react to fitness and stuff like that with my daughter. You know, her plan and everything is if you want to hide, she's buying it.
40,
yeah, 40 euros, 3 months. She needs my card.
That's awesome.
So it came full circle. Yeah, I know. Anyway. You know, if he makes her train, like I'll give her all the props right now. She's running in the morning. She woke up this morning, went running and everything. Whatever, she's doing better.
Thank you, Kylie Jenner.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying it. Those words will not come out of my mouth. I'm just saying. And I realized something. The way to hide the truth, we always try to hide the truth. And no, that's the best way to get the truth discovered. If you want to hide the truth, you put 5 of them out there.
Right.
And then people will choose the one that fits their belief the most, or whatever makes them more comfortable and everything.
Right.
That's the way you hide the truth. And that's what you see more and more. So all they do now is give you opinions that already fit yours.
Right.
And that's the biggest form of censorship. And whenever there's an opinion that does not fit yours, it has to be shut down.
Right.
And that's what they're doing now. They're just shutting down everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I'm on the left, but if I was on the right, I'd be pissed right now.
For sure.
Because like Joe Biden is there, like Jesus came back to life.
Right.
We all saved.
Yeah.
Saved from what? It's the same exact situation.
Right.
Trump didn't do shit for 4 years. At least he didn't start a war.
Yeah.
But what else has he done? Like really, what else has he done? Right. He elected 2 conservative Supreme Judge. Don't get me wrong, that's a big one, because that's going to change the US for a while. But short of that, what difference it makes? Like the fact that Joe Biden is going to save the world. Like those people, you were criticizing the guy 6 months ago.
Right.
I don't get it. But in the meantime, we are being censored. Like it is, like we get shadow banned for doing an option episode, but I get demonetized for talking about anxiety. Right, we talk about anxiety all the time. So how long does it take before our entire YouTube channel gets going? Then all the podcasts are gone.
Right. Yeah,
This
for
happened
sure.
on Apple, but then what happened when they decide you can't talk about anxiety? You know what I mean? Like this is where we're
Because there
going.
was somebody that tried to create their own, like a free platform, and it
Parley.
got
It's called. Yeah.
Parley. You were talking about it the other day.
Yeah. So Parley was an app.
Yeah.
That was out there. That was a community-based app, and in there, some assholes, like they always are, started to say, "Let's storm the Capitol." Right. So the people that stormed the Capitol and went inside and did all that insane shit had a lot of communication on Parley. So what did they do? They just shut off the app. So Amazon and Apple just shut off the app.
Okay.
Full blown. Oh, sorry, you're breaking the guidelines.
Because of one extremist.
A bunch of them, but not all of them. This is the same thing as saying that if you're a Trumpian, you storm the Capitol. There was, let's say there's I don't remember how many people were in, but it's probably a few hundred.
Right.
Let's say 1,000. 75 million people voted for Trump. Are you going to all put them into as extremists?
Yeah.
But then who cares? Because it's half the country voting anyway. Right. So then if you have the country are extremists, then they're not extremists.
Yeah.
Extremist means it's only a small fraction. By the way, those are the same people that told everybody that you could not judge Muslims based on the action of extremists.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's funny how that works now. You know what I mean? And so they shut down Parley. Am I on Parley? Fuck no, I'm on the left. But I'm pissed for them. And shutting people off, like not letting people talk, will not solve anything. You're fucking insane if you think you do. But now you have YouTube, that is Google, that is going toward letting CBS and all those big channels run the show, run the YouTube live, run the videos that they want. If you want to make money off of YouTube, you have to talk about, I ate a $50,000 ice cream.
Well, I mean, that will get you a lot of views.
Exactly.
There's that one girl who eats noodles, and I think she has like 120 million followers, and all she does is eat noodles in front of a camera. You're like,
exactly.
What? And it's not an SMR thing. Like she talks and everything, but it's, I'm like,
it's Korean, right?
Yeah, Korean girl, and she has like 9 packages of like spicy ramen, and she eats them, and you're like, how is this?
Yeah, right. So this is what now. So the internet was supposed to free us.
Right.
Remember, that was the point. The point was, podcast, you do whatever you want, it's out there, no one can touch it. Guess what? That shit is going out the window real fast.
Now, do you think this is the light side, bright side, innocent Richard coming out?
Sure.
Do you think that it could have happened, or this started to happen? And again, I think that the sympathetic, so going back to like a Strongfit concept of sympathetic fix, right? So you see like the 60s, people start to realize what gets people to trigger. And so people that are able to gain control or gain a lot of power and see things in a big way understand that if I can get you into like the sympathetic fix of watching these 15 seconds, like TikTok videos and, you know, like social dilemma style, right, will allow this population to just keep feeding in and continue to consume, right? So I've always said the U.S. is a consuming country. It's just, that's the culture, consumption. Yes. And so for me, I always look at it and I'm like, so somebody accidentally found these triggers and they kind of keep, they studied it.
Yeah, they hired neuroscientists.
Yeah, to keep it going and going.
Right, except, so I have a more evil way of looking at that one, where this is not people, it's a system, it's a matrix that is just fitting itself, in the sense of they hire neuroscientists to go like, what would engage people? Right. Like maybe the intentions were not evil at the beginning, saying like, how do we get people to engage more with each other? Right. Let's build a community. Likes. Yeah. Okay. Except the likes creates that response, like dopamine, except it's not that simple.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's like a disturbance coming through in the force. If you can put it on this side, maybe. I don't know who it is.
Coming in the force. I like it. This is my nerd.
Yeah. They're already censoring us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's not even out yet.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry. So
is the matrix?
Because so the likes were like, oh, let's get people, let's build a community. So likes will engage people because it's harder online, obviously, right? And then it's not just a dopamine response. That's what they tell you, but it's far more complex than that. But they realized that when they did that, they started to develop system to get more likes, and they realized that the more likes they had, the more you keep coming back. And so they did that on games, like with the thing,
sure.
and then capitalism got in there, so the consumption society going like, well, if I do this, I get more of that. I can sell more ads. All right, so let's do more of this. And now they built an algorithm to give you likes, not all at once, but just keep the drip going so that you can, and then before you know it, the system turns into this, because that's what systems do. Yeah. They do what they do. I mean, like, it's not based on the constraints at the beginning. Like, the constraints were designed not as to create a community. They were designed to get people to come back. So that's what you get. And now you have an entire system that just designed for people to stay on. And guess what the system figure out? Outrage and anger works better. The sympathetic fixes work way better than anything else.
Which is weird. What is that? Because again, there's not that much stress in our lives as usual. Do you think, or like I get it. Okay, so I'm a corporation and I want to make my millions of dollars and make my shareholders happy and so on and so forth. So I'm figuring out how to get people to come back in. Do you think it's like almost like a cartel type look at the world where you're like, I don't even care that I'm doing evil as long as it's just business and money, right? So it's basically that cartel view where it's like, it doesn't matter the cost of the short term nor the long term, as long as my reward is coming in.
Because I don't think they see everybody else. It's the Markov blanket, where your only connection to the world is a Markov blanket. So the world influences the Markov blanket. But you don't see the world, you just see your Markov blanket, right? So those people, all they see is sheets, Google Sheets, stuff like that. They don't see consequences, they just see reports. Because that's what they look at. They look at reports, they look at stuff. If a guy comes with a study saying we're harming people with that, they go like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But then they're back to reports and but I have then here comes the excuses. I have the shareholders to take care of, I have this, I have that. And then they just keep pushing. And right now, what you see is, you see a constellation of the power at the top. Yeah. So you see Google, you see Facebook. So now what they're afraid of people's criticism. So this is tyranny of the majority. Yeah. Like now most people are liberals in their way of thinking. And so what you see is you see Facebook, you see Google going like, well, we're not allowed to say certain things. So now you have certain things, but like all system, once they start to gain speed, they just need to go further into the same stuff. So now you had the entire transsexual debate. And before you know it, you have the Olympic Committee that says the difference between a man and a woman is the testosterone level. Okay. Because if you start to say it's chromosomes, then you cannot accept transsexual women, like they have to compete with men. But
then the transsexual woman is allowed to take testosterone levels to compete at the same level.
If she wants to men, but it never goes that way. It goes the other way, which is a man transitioning as a woman just as lower his testosterone levels in order to be considered a woman and compete. First victim, that 800-meter awesome Olympic champion, multiple world champion, broke all the records from South Africa. I forget her name. Goes there. She has very, very high level of testosterone. Almost like men level. She's like, at some point they were saying she's a man. She's not true. She's a woman. Hermaphrodite. I mean, there was an entire thing there. Like I can't remember exactly, but it was like she might have been a little bit in between. But she has very high level of testosterone. Yeah. So then she's a man. So what did they do? Is they forced her to take pills to lower her own levels of testosterone, which makes her sick and weak and not run. Well, Jesus. Okay, where are my feminists? Yeah. Why are we not talking about her? You see very, very few articles about her. We are harming, destroying a woman that has done nothing wrong but be herself. Yeah. She just happens to have high level of testosterone, which we are not letting be because otherwise you're transphobic. Right. That's the only reason. This is a political reason that is destroying the life of a woman who should be world champion every single year and 3 times Olympic champion by now.
So do you think part of the problem is then, like I always feel like, we keep talking about bringing in this third party or multiple parties, because now I feel like if you're left or you're right, like you can't be towards the center anymore. Right, like everybody needs to be towards an extreme. So if I have an opinion about something that's a liberal opinion, it makes me an extreme liberal. Or if I have an opinion that's a conservative thought, it makes me an extreme right.
Right, and if you don't want to have that opinion, then they'll tell you, no, but you have to have that opinion. So you can't be left and not be extreme left. Yeah. Then if you're not left and extreme left, you're on the right. But then on the right, if you don't have extreme right, then you're on the left. And so you're stuck in between going, but I'm neither. I just want to have my opinion on what I think.
I find it weird, and yes, I'm a U.S. citizen, and I should be involved with the U.S. politics and everything that's going on in the U.S., but you're French. You don't live in the U.S.
Right.
I've been everywhere in the world, and somehow everything revolves around the U.S. politics.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Right. And that's my problem with social media is now between YouTube and Facebook, we are doing the Strongfit podcast based on the restriction created by the US culture.
Right.
Because some fucking Antifa nut job in Portland decided, or like all that extreme left social justice warriors in the US is affecting Facebook on one side, YouTube and everything to the point where we can't do what we want in Amsterdam. Mm-hmm. This is how bad this is becoming, where the US culture, which is completely nuts right now, which is finally like the wheels are coming off, right? On how crazy it was to do that culture war, that men versus women. There cannot be a debate that is not men versus women, black versus white, or like the liberal versus, like you have to be in a box now.
Well, and there's no,
for everything.
There's no peaceful protests. I was talking with Alex, he's behind the camera, about the protests that they were having here at Museum Plain and everything. And he says they were peaceful until they got the hooligans to come in and start shit and everything.
And that's all they put on the news.
Yeah, and I mean, again, like you say the US is crazy right now, which I'm sure at the extremes it is, but like I was in New Jersey for a week and I didn't like...
Great. So let me rephrase. The media
makes
crazy.
It seem crazy,
and the base of the media in the world right now is the US. So I think the US media is completely insane, is infecting the entire world. Because as we said, the protest, like here in, the Dutch are not violent. They were protesting, but not violently. But then some assholes, and
started it.
The percentage of those assholes planted there by the government is another problem. Because Alex saw some of them, he saw the hooligans coming off, he was there, and the peaceful was protest, like the first one, and he saw hooligans coming out of a police van to start to stir shit up. So that happens as well. And then we saw it firsthand. Anyway, but there's also some assholes that burn stuff. But the media only showed like, it looks like there was like everything, because there was one car on fire and suddenly like the entirety of Holland is on fire. No.
Yeah. I got calls from friends in Mexico who were like, hey dude, what's going on in Amsterdam? It's burning down. I was like,
it's like, there's nothing happening. We live in Amsterdam. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Right?
It's so boring. We have to be home by 9. I mean, I want to kind of go protest. Like if there's a protest, I would not mind.
But okay, you know what kills me on the other side? Because now you have the media controlling the narrative, which has to be outrageous and always more and leftist or right or whatever. In the meantime, what we're not talking about, COVID.
Yeah.
So we're in Holland, we're in Amsterdam, right? Things have been getting better. There's less infection, less death. Things are better. Right now, the control of the population is the worst it has ever been. We have a curfew at 9 that is being talked to be lessened to 7. Why? In case the new strain in England is bad.
Right.
So we're not even saving hospitals or anything. Well, now we are in case behavior. We have a curfew that we haven't seen since World War II. The French have it at 6.
That's 6.
In case, even though things are better. So things get better, the measures are getting tighter, are getting worse. And we're not talking about it.
Yeah, and it makes no fucking sense.
No fucking sense.
Because if it's till 6, that just means that more people are going to be out throughout the day, which means you're going to be around more people anyways.
You can't catch the virus outside. You cannot catch the virus outside. Can we go back to this point? It's inside stuff. Yeah. Which he's going to tell you, that's why we have the lockdown. But people will go inside first, since they're just going to go see family during the day. It makes no fucking difference. Right. Things are getting better in Holland. There's less people in the hospital. The infection rate is going down. And yet the measure is getting worse. Worse and worse. Infection is going, that they're afraid of the British variant. It seems that there's been an evolution of that virus since the beginning. And it seems that the lockdown had nothing to do with less people getting sick. It's which variant of the virus you were having. I can post the paper that I was reading about that. And the professor in question did an entire interview. He was like, there's always been an evolution of that virus. So the lockdown didn't do, that's not the thing. Yeah. What the question was, how virulent, how contagious was that virus? It seems Italy got a strain that was very, very contagious. Why it spread the way it was. It's not the lockdown. It's how contagious that virus is. Yeah, and Iran and stuff. That's what it seems. Yeah. There was a different strain almost from the beginning. Why? Because that virus was created but I'll put that paper, I'll put the article and it's up to you to judge. Anyway. You know what? You know what I'll do? I'm going to create a topic on Julian's Corner saying the shit I wish I would see in the news. Yeah. And I'm going to put all the articles about this.
Well, because it's no longer informing anybody. Like,
right.
So, like, I go travel, and again, like, if you're afraid of travel, I get it, whatever. Like, you live your life. I'm not afraid to travel. Like, I'm really not. Like, go fuck this shit. Yep. I really don't care. Yep. I've traveled a shit ton through this whole thing. You can call me irresponsible, but I've been...
No, you don't have COVID. You did the test.
Yeah. Like, it's been ridiculous. I spend most of the time outdoors. If there's a lot of people and they're asking me to put a mask on, listen, I'll put the mask on. But like, the fear of the travel is such bullshit. Yep. And it's unreal how hard it is to try and figure out where you can and cannot travel to. So, like, coming into the Netherlands, okay? They asked me for a test, a PCR test, 72 hours beforehand, that before I land, not before I fly, before I land. So I'm like, so what if I contract it within those 72 hours?
Whatever.
Not the point. Not the point. Anywho, so I go take the test, and now I have to try and figure out, like, the time-wise.
It takes 3 days to get the test, to get the results.
Yeah, but I need to show up at the airport showing my results, right? So I show up to Delta, and I'm trying to get my results. So the results came in on this MyChart thing, this app, which is a great thing. I show them the results. In the results, my name is not there, the date's not there, it just says negative results. It could have been a screenshot. The guy even asked me, is this a screenshot? And I was like, no, it's the actual thing. He goes, oh, okay, cool. But my name was nowhere to be seen. None of it related to my test, right? It could have been anybody's test.
It was your test, so you did the right thing.
I followed all the paperwork that needed to be done to enter the Netherlands. Nobody ever asked for it.
No, wait. So you filled up, how many pages did you fill?
4 pages.
4. Written, right?
Written pages,
okay, So there's a tree dying right there?
Yeah.
Right, so you filled up all that stuff, everything, and you have your test in hand.
Yeah.
You get to the Netherlands,
nothing.
No one asked.
Not a single thing was asked for me.
Any passengers on your plane?
Only when they showed the papers and they started waving them around like they needed to show them in.
Right.
So I was like, no, fuck that shit. Like,
I don't need... Whether you agree on lockdowns, on the COVID or what, that's not even my problem right now with the news. You know what I'm not hearing, and that's nothing to do whether you agree with lockdowns or not, is why are we not doing stories on the lives of the people being destroyed by the economy tanking? Like, for example, Janina was listening to a podcast when there's a tattoo artist that he just started his business like a year ago, as his wife, his kid. In the last 9 months or 10 months, he received 2,000 euros from the government for 9 months. By the way, 2,000 euros is 2,000 euros more than I received. Yeah, I'm just saying, even though I have a business, pay taxes in the Netherlands and everything. That guy is supposed to live for 9 months on 2,000 euros.
Right.
Right. And how many gym owners do we know that got zero because their KVK number or whatever? So my point is, why is the news not giving us those stories? Are we not supposed to, is that not news to know that some people are suffering, like are losing? We see businesses closing left and right. It's the saddest thing in
Amsterdam. Like, walking around, you walk around these streets, you used to have all these super cool boutique, like,
and a lot of them are
shops,
closing.
And now it's just for rent.
Right. So why are we not filming that? Isn't that newsworthy for people to see that there is an impact of all this in every day? Why are we not talking about suicide rates going up? Is that not newsworthy? Like Harpa was telling me, in Iceland right now, they have a high suicide rate among teenagers. Right. There is unemployment rate, a high unemployment rate in Iceland, which they never have. Normally, they have a negative unemployment rate because they need to bring people to work. But now, why is that not newsworthy?
Yeah.
Isn't that the job of the news to at least give us
inform.
Without saying lockdown good, lockdown bad, nothing of that, just to inform.
Yeah.
Just to say, hey, this is what's happening right now with the measures in place.
Right.
We are not talking about any of that. All I hear is lockdowns are great. Anybody's protesting is about human being.
Basically.
It's insane. And the left is pushing. So if you're on the left, you have to have that opinion.
Right.
If you don't have that opinion, you're on the right. So if I say lockdowns are complete bullshit, and I believe they are, I'm a Trumpist.
Yeah.
It's insane. You are deciding for me, and I refuse that. That will not happen. So that tyranny of the majority, they can go all fuck themselves. You will not decide where my life goes. So YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff, this is a measure of control now. That's what Facebook is. It's for leftists that want to confirm to that opinion that we're all supposed to have. That's what they're doing right now. And if you disagree, you get canned.
Yep.
If you disagree on YouTube, you get shadow banned, you get live videos shut off and everything.
Yeah,
You're not seeing what's happening. The news is not the news anymore. It's a propaganda machine that is getting to a point where Goebbels dreamed about this.
Right. Well, there was I don't know who it was on Instagram I was following, and they posted up like a link to an article or something, and it was, and they got, Instagram sent them a message and took the post down saying that he was sending out, publishing fake news. Like literally
that's a
fake
new one
news.
now. That's
and,
a new one.
And the guy's like, it's not fake news.
It's
like, here's the
probably
writer, here's this. Like, like, what?
Right, so you're not allowed to publish certain articles now.
Yeah.
So it was on the election at first, like you're not supposed to be. There's a steal because violence, so you can't even question the stuff. Not that they think there's a steal. I think it was a completely legit election. But the fact is, you can't even post on that. But then people are like, well, yeah, but that's good because there was no steal. I'm like, okay, who decides what's good? Because sooner or later, they're going to decide what is good, and that's not going to fit what you think.
Yeah.
It's always like that.
Right.
Like if you say, yeah, but that's good because if it's my opinion, trust me, sooner or later, it won't fit your opinion anymore. And so now with the fake news stuff, if I say the lockdown is not effective, that's fake news, I can get banned. So I'm not even allowed to offer a counter opinion.
Right.
Then maybe I'm wrong. Then tell me I'm wrong. Show me I'm wrong. I'll change my mind.
Yeah.
Isn't that how this works?
Somewhere, yeah.
Right. So you cannot anymore. Now it's party line. But my problem is it's becoming worldwide party line.
Right, which makes no sense.
Oh, that's so scary. That is so scary. It's not enough to have propaganda. Now it's worldwide propaganda.
Right.
So the US media is creating a left versus right, men versus women, black versus or non-white versus white separation worldwide for us to fall into. Do you know how, like, okay, this is how World War II happened. Yeah, the communists on one side, and all the stuff. Like, let me remind people that, like the tyranny of the majority and all that stuff, like, individual rights fall versus society's rights, because that's a lot what they're saying about COVID, is that you as an individual has to agree that society is more important than you. Right, I heard that one before. I studied that one. Right, that's communism, World War II, 100 million deaths. Yeah. It happened before, like that culture thing, that identity politics is so dangerous. And we're falling right into it.
Yeah. So where do you see this taking us in the future? Not as Strongfit, but like worldwide. Like, what would be your prediction of how? I mean, the only way to stop it would be what? Just full-blown revolution?
No, but the key, because at least there is an evil empire.
Right.
So that means there is something to fight, and it's the way the news media is right now.
Yeah.
You know what my biggest fear is they come from podcast next.
Right.
We should try with Joe Rogan, for example.
They start censoring.
If this comes out and then if the internet starts to be controlled like that, then I think eventually you'll see, like, the idea that there is no more world war coming up is a ridiculous idea. Maybe not world war, but such a
It could be a world war, but it could be not against certain nations. It could just be a revolt against.
Yes, exactly. So what I think you're going to see is you're going to see a polarization of people, but you're going to see men versus women, stuff like that, to the point where you're going to see a destruction of the Western culture from within. You know, like the Romans fell?
Yeah.
Right, and then suddenly the barbarians are at the doors?
Yeah.
Right, that's what I think we're going to see within the Western civilization. I think that the way we try to shape things is coming to an end. Maybe all empires fall, maybe that's what this is. But to me, what I see is I see the destruction of the Western culture from within, and that idea of democracy, proving that maybe it's not a viable option.
Now, do you see that? I see that happening, but I also see the laziness of the new generations coming up.
Where we fed that. Where does it come from?
No, for sure.
That's the thing.
Like that pendulum swing, right? So like, I can see the pendulum swing coming back through, but I could see generation, is it Z now that we have, right? Like these new generations of kids where they'll just be like,
yeah, it's getting
and they'll just keep strolling, right?
Okay,
so they keep breeding this ignorance.
Yes, exactly, right. But so what you're going to get is eventually, once all those businesses close and everything, you'll get a strong man coming up saying like, I need to put you back in business.
Right.
This happened before. Do you know why Hitler got elected? Because you need 2 billion Dutch marks to buy bread.
Right.
So I'm not saying we're there, but I'm saying this is what happened. If you push an economy low enough and you make people desperate enough, they do desperate things. And a strong man comes along, and usually strong men are either on the right or the extreme left. Right. Either way,
It tends to
it's
go
bad, right? Like Hitler was bad, so was Mao. Like make no difference. Stalin was the biggest. Mao was Stalin, Hitler. Like Hitler is number 3 on the list actually. If you look at the number of people he killed during World War II. So this is what you get. You start to swing that pendulum. A strong man comes about saying, "Let me help you." That's what Trump was. Thank God he wasn't one. He wasn't a strong one. He was just a lazy dude who was incapable of governing, obviously. Right. But sooner or later, you get those people coming, and then the shit starts all over again. Or the Western society crumbles from within because democracy, I think we're showing the limits of democracy right now, is the tyranny of the majority. You make people lazy, that's what you get. Yeah. You get people saying, well, let's all be nice, let's not do anything. Let's just accept everybody the way they are, except in real life, that's not what's happening right now. Yeah. Let's accept everybody that thinks like us. So, I will not feed that machine. So, we're going to create our own space where we'll be, and we'll try to keep human beings, and we will have our own people there. Yeah. And if you don't like it, then just stay outside. Yeah. Go feed the matrix and everything. But me, I'm at a stage where I don't want, whenever I go on a Strongfit community, have to deal with all the stuff on Facebook and continuously see what they're doing, and I am not feeding that. Right. I will not be part of that system. So we're going to go more and more toward what we do and away from that. And I swear, on Julian's Corner, I'm going to have the stuff, it's going to be like the underground press. Yeah. That's what I'm going to call it. The underground Strongfit press. Yeah. You know what I mean? I remember we wanted to do that. Yeah, sure. That's why it's coming. I like it. Because I refused, this is not the world I want to live in, so I'll make my own. Right. At least I'll take action, I'll make my own, and whoever wants to follow us in that is welcome, but it won't be controlled by YouTube on one side or stuff like that. We will have our own videos. We're going to be able to embed our own videos on Mighty Network soon and on our website whenever it's created, which means if YouTube ever wants to pull the plug, we still have it. And then then we can go out there for people to come into us. So we can still go out to tell people come this way and try to get the people within the community that will be our community or way.
Rebellion, coach.
Fuck yeah. Now, yeah. And honestly, the first enemy is true that it's not the US culture, the enemy. It's the US media, which now is global anyway. Global, It's that media culture and what it's doing right now. This is evil. That's the evil empire. It's constant clicks. Right. That's all they matter. It's like money.
And as long as they get the click, they
don't give a shit.
I fuck the Facebook algorithms because I'll go and I like CNN, I like Fox News, and I like both extremes just to fuck. And so I get everything, but you read an article, for the boats, for example. Yeah. You read an article on CNN about Trump, and it's all extreme negative, but none of it leads anywhere. It's just fluff. It's fluff, 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 fluff. There's no answers anywhere.
Yes, there's never an answer.
I go on the right, and it's about how Trump is winning, and the lawsuits are going through. Right. And again, all fluff. And I'm but neither of them say anything. Right. None of them state facts. Yes. The article is not stating any facts on either side. All you wanted was that clickbait that I went, oh shit, Trump is suing and he's doing all this, and so it's constant, just click here and click.
But you know what's on my feed right now when I went even on Yahoo.com? The fact that Harry Potter is starting a mini-series on HBO. And he should be taken down because of J.K. Rowling's transphobic history.
No way.
I'll show you. It's on Yahoo. And I'm like, okay, I'm curious. I click on it and she's transphobic, she's this. You know why she's transphobic? Because there was a tweet that says, people who menstruate. And she said, you mean women? Transphobic.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Oh my God.
Saying that people menstruate, she said, you mean women? That's transphobic. Yeah, that's when it started. And then other stuff she said, which were exactly in the same line. So now she's not even comments, it's transphobic history. She's been transphobic for the last 20 years. J.K. Rowling, the person who wrote Harry Potter. We're not talking like this is not Fox News. This is J.K. Rowling, who said Dumbledore is gay.
Did you know that? I didn't pay attention much to Harry Potter.
You guys don't know Dumbledore is gay? Oh, come on, guys, pay attention.
I'm sure there's Harry Potter people fuck yeah.
Dumbledore is gay. I mean, that was kind of obvious.
Dumbledore was the big hairy one.
Yeah, he's the
giant one. Okay.
No, that's Hagrid.
Shit.
Come on, Hagrid. Dumbledore is the head of the school, the badass wizard.
Ah, okay.
The mentor of Harry Potter.
Yes.
You're talking about Hagrid, man. Oh, come on.
Sorry, guys.
Anyway.
Okay, moving forward.
You're not an Uber nerd. You're not in the Uber nerd club anymore.
No.
Right. So she said that Dumbledore was gay, like everybody at the time. Like, yeah, she's so... And now she's a transphobic witch whose mini-series on Harry Potter should not be on HBO.
But...
and you know why? Because she defended Johnny Depp, who's a wife beater.
Right.
On top of being transphobic, she's in favor of abusing women.
Even though she's defending a man, not the whole movement.
Plus,
whatever
the man itself is still going through the stuff. Like the whole Amber stuff. Like she's not innocent. Give me a fucking break. I'm not saying he's an angel, but she isn't either. Come on, like it's fucking insane. And this is all you have. This is the evil, is the media and what they do right now. Like there is no more, this isn't media, this is something else. This is just control 101.
Right.
For money. Like we're seeing the extent of how far capitalism can go and how much it can fuck with people. That's what we're seeing right now. The problem with democracy and the problem with capitalism, especially when the two meet together. That's what we're saying.
Become a superpower.
Yeah. And that is the evil empire right there. And this, if we go down that road of identity politics, it's been done before. This is the end of the Western culture. When we do that, China is right there, just waiting to come in. Yeah. All they got to do is have a couple more viruses, and we're fucked.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not saying they did it intentionally. I am saying it was a mistake. Anyway, an accident. But yeah. We're going to get shadow ban on that one as well.
Yeah, but this whole thing is going to be just taken out.
Exactly.
Guidelines.
No. We'll put it. So save that video, Alex, and then we'll put it on the Mighty Networks real fast. Yeah. Right, and hopefully they said we can put them as native soon. It will be better, and I hope it happens soon because otherwise he might not survive very long. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we're moving to Mighty Networks, and we're starting the rebellion.
Yeah, because
the rebellion has started. Fuck it.
It's
so
insane.
We're going to switch a lot of the stuff to Star Wars soon, Alex. I'm telling you, because right now it's Dragon Ball. But I want some Star Wars shit in it.
Seems to fit a little bit more.
Right, Star Wars is fitting real well on a bunch of stuff, right? So we're going to use that as well. But I want the rebellion side anyway. Old school, not the new bullshit. I want the old school movie, right? The first three, that's what we're sticking with. After that is, especially the last ones. I don't want none of that shit.
I fell asleep on the last one.
It's so bad.
I fell asleep.
It's like a Romeo and Juliet bullshit. Like they both. It's so bad.
They talk to each other. It's like.
Right, that too and everything, and you know they want. Did you notice like all the white males got either got fucked or killed?
It was about the women.
Yes, exactly. Oh, that's like I'm like, can we leave Star Wars out of this bullshit of men versus women?
But then there's like product placements of like things where they would be like that drop line and
my God,
like that's gonna be a toy.
This is like capitalism.
Even like the new Mandalorian. Like I don't know if you've seen the Mandalorian, the series.
No, I never saw it.
It's
Baby
not
Yoda.
that good. It's not that good.
I'm not surprised.
People make it a lot more than it needs to be.
Because they need to be distracted from everything.
Every time, like, I'm watching some, like, well, everybody's talking, and I'm like, it's really kind of boring. Like, it doesn't really bring depth into Yoda or he's becoming, like, the Mandalorian dude is...
that can't be Yoda because Yoda was 900 years old, so it's just a baby Yoda.
It's a baby Yoda, yeah.
But it's so, the same species, but no,
But none of it was cool.
No, I'm not surprised.
Very boring.
I didn't see any of it because, honestly, I'll stick with... I'm going to sound old right now, but with the old school shit because it was a lot better.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, cool. Mighty Networks. So join us there. We'll put you all the links, all that stuff. But this is where the Strongfit universe is going to live because Mighty Networks is allowing us to be self-sustaining. And soon we'll have our own website where it's a closed loop where no one will touch us. That's for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that'll be this episode, guys. Have a good one. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.